those lights are bright. How's everyone doing? Good? I can't see. I'm going to pretend that everybody up there is full audience. Thank you for having us here. I mean, these events are extremely important. It allows us to get together as an industry, talk about some of the challenges that we're facing together, some of the use cases, lessons learned. So it's a great opportunity for us to share. So thank you to Scott and to Cochrane Supply for having us spend a little bit of time together. Let's see if we can get this going. I was going to say, I can't remember my name if it's not on the screen. My name is Victor Abelairas. I'm the GM of Tridium. I've been with Tridium for about 2.5 years. This does remind me a little bit of Summit. This is a great forum, and we are very, very happy to be here. We thought that we would get started. By the way, I pace. I don't think, if you haven't noticed, I pace. So I'll try not to. Otherwise, I'm going to make everybody sick out there. We thought that it would be best that we start talking about some of the things that we believe in. We were asked to talk about the future of the Niagara framework, and I think to do that, informing you about what we believe in is important because ultimately it feeds its way into strategy, into the objectives of the business, and then ultimately into our product and product roadmap. So we're going to start right there. And while I won't read everything that we believe in, there's a couple of overarching themes, one of which is making data readily accessible. And if we see all the things that are coming out with all the cloud applications, everything that requires data and requires the secure, validated, clean data that we're investing in Niagara, how do we make that available to everybody so that it can be consumed to accomplish all the things that businesses are trying to achieve? The second overarching theme is around flexibility. Whether that's, are we going to go working 3-2, or working back in the office all the time? How our space is going to get utilized, how our facility is going to get managed and operated, how are our products going to be consumed and deployed? So it's a theme around flexibility. And then there's, of course, sustainability. And I think a few of the speakers have talked about sustainability here, so I won't repeat what they said in terms of the benefits of market that we could go after, and obviously improving the world that we live in and leaving a better world behind. But I will talk about leveraging it for a competitive advantage, and that is in attracting and retaining phenomenal talent into our industry. It is going to be extremely important that we do that for the many decades to come. But all of this is centered on a community, and that's what we believe in. It is centered on, for us, a Niagara community, because we don't think that any one company is going to be able to solve all of these challenges by themselves. It takes a village, and what we are trying to do is arm everyone with the right products, the right tools to be able to optimize what we're doing for our customers so that they ultimately benefit. So thank you for being part of that community. And as I said, these beliefs ultimately translate into what we have as our product vision. The first place to start is with a commitment to our existing hardware and software. You're going to see that commitment in the things that we talk about today, but you're going to hear the roadmap and all the things that we're investing in that go into that bucket. It's a critical bucket for us because it is what has gotten us here, what will keep us going into the next generation. The second is extending our vision into the cloud, being able to leverage the scalability and the productivity that we get from tools in the cloud into our domain. So that is really about an extension of our framework, an extension of what we currently do into microservices in the cloud, which gives us an ability to modernize the things that we do in the framework that we use. The third is around making Niagara easier to consume and to deploy. I think that's fairly straightforward, but what we're trying to do is save time, effort, money in leveraging Niagara so that we're all more efficient as an ecosystem. And then lastly, how do we go and provide that common interface and common tool set for the management of control peripheries across an OT network? So these are the things that we're thinking about in terms of our product vision. And some of these are incremental improvements, some of these are big swings. When it comes to big swings, we need to have a channel that is going to take those big swings to market. And that's where Vicon comes in. So when I joined Tridium 2.5 years ago at this point, you know, I was understanding the way that we go to market, and I was introduced to Vicon. And it was explained to me that it is the integrator channel. Fair enough. Over the last 2.5 years, I could validate it's the integrator channel. However, I think it's more than that, because this group represents the innovators, the ones who are the thought leaders in our community. These are the ones that are pushing the envelope of what we are doing day in and day out. Scott referred to this channel as the barbarians at the gate, which I thought was a pretty good metaphor, because you are the ones that are causing us to improve, to make our products better, to make our products more diverse so that we could solve bigger problems for our customers. So, if you would, a round of applause to yourselves. I appreciate everything that you've done. Go ahead, clap. You can clap for yourselves. It's okay to feel good. But we appreciate everything. We're highly grateful for everything that you've done for Tridium and for our collective customers. We need this going forward. And just to share some of the members that are here today, I won't go one by one, but you know, take a look at the Vicon team who are here. Pull them aside, you know, get to know them, let them know what you need from us. That will make its way back to product, guaranteed. But this is how we improve as a community. So we're going to jump into product, but before I jump into product, I feel like it's important that we talk about security, because without security, we do not have a product. And if we are not talking to our customers and our customers are not concerned about security, we need to make them concerned about security, because it is of utmost importance. It is a core tenet of all of our offerings and really feeds into our secure by default principle. So making security easier, this is about making the default to the most secure configurations, making passwords that are strong in strength, right? Force administrators to do the right thing, like changing factory passwords after commissioning, or doing the right thing regardless of configuration, like encrypting sensitive information at rest. And then the last is around really best practices, things that we could share during events like this, right? Articles, documentation, use cases. How do we improve, even Tridium talks, how do we improve the best practices that we're utilizing to improve our security posture for ourselves and for our customers? So how does this translate into the way that we work? I think the easiest example is our update build cadence. We do this every quarter, and it really reflects our commitment of maintaining that security posture across our core framework. The second is the security dashboard, which we also refresh on every release, and that gives you an instant view of your security across all of your stations. We also have feature updates that are around security in every single one of our updates. Two of them that I'm calling out here is, you know, with 4.13, which is currently in beta, is modern authentication support, and then browser-based HTML5 cert manager. That cert manager makes certificates easier to work with and to understand, so they have context-sensitive subject descriptors, just in case you don't know what you're quite looking at. It will remind you, give you a little bit of a description, so that helps you do the right thing for yourself, for the customers. And then it has automated management of certificates, and that's extended to BACnet SC, which we've heard about quite a few times in this event, Fox, and web services. So we talked about 4.13. I will not go through all the features of 4.13. I will touch on a few of them in the next couple of slides. I did want to talk about the pillars of our product. This is how we think about the evolution of our product in the way that we work on interoperability, flexibility, connectivity, security, and certs and compliance. This is a framework that we use to enhance our products and continue to build on those for our community. The first feature that I'll talk about on 4.13 is around containerization. So why do we do this? Well, containers are less resource intensive, and they're more portable than virtual machines. So what does that mean for those who are developing and using Niagara for deployment? It becomes easier, less labor intensive, and that's what we're going for. This is going to be available for on-prem, so if you're deploying a supervisor in a local server, in the cloud for a cloud service deployment, and then also to embed in hardware. some third-party providers that are going to want to do that. The second feature that I'm highlighting on 4.13 is around multi-tiered system DB, which is really extending the functionality and the benefits of Niagara's system database and indexing to support various architecture layouts. You know, one there featured on your right. But with this, we're able to query the entire Niagara system from a single location. This is going to make creating an enterprise-level architecture significantly easier for you. Haystack for support. Haystack continues to evolve, capturing relationships along with the device contextual data. What we've done is we've taken our Haystack dictionary and mapped it or aligned it with the Haystack 4 tag dictionary and made the migration as easily as 1 or 2 clicks. Again, trying to save time in deployment and working with Niagara. One of our previous speakers talked about getting closer with IT. Syslog integration is a means to do that. So how do we meet IT administrative requirements around audit logging, monitoring, and detection? So we've done Syslog integration to meet those IT standards around message logging. And then there's authentication via email, which is really maintaining that security posture with a preferred authentication, which is OAuth 2 by major email providers, namely Microsoft and Gmail. This is used to send out reports and charts and alarms from the station, and also to send alarm acknowledgments back to the station. So I'm going to take a break from software for a second. I'm going to move on to hardware. I will skip Enterprise Security 4.13 features. We could talk about them at a later date, but I want to jump to 4.14, which is happening at the end of this year, and specifically new hardware portfolio that we're introducing. That hardware portfolio includes 1, 2, and 4 door controller models. If you haven't had a chance to visit our booth, please check it out. We do have the hardware there. It is OSDP verified or compliant, so there's a multi-class reader support. It has several different credential options like QR code, biometrics, Bluetooth, etc. And again, OSDP absolutely critical for our hardware. Additionally, it is built on an open framework. Why is an open framework important? Well, because if you are leveraging our hardware, fantastic, but if you also want to bring another piece of hardware, a different controller into your solution, fantastic as well. Why are we doing this? Well, look, this plays into what some of the core values of Tridium are: open, flexible, providing choice for yourselves, for your customers. Also at that booth is Jace 9000. What should you expect from the Jace 9000? More power, more storage. It has the same footprint as the 8000. It has interoperability with the modules and I/O, and it has the same connector orientations. Why is this all important? Well, because if you ever have to swap out an 8000 for a 9000, this is going to save you a lot of time and effort to do so. Some of the cool things on the roadmap for 9000 is remote management, as well as use cases for our neural processing unit. So if you think about some of the things that you heard about AI, ML, edge processing, etc., those use cases are being refined on a daily basis. And as we start to understand how we're going to consume those resources, we want a platform that is able to power those resources, right? Stand up to those use cases, be able to take those to market. So the Jace 9000 is that platform. Lastly, we're going to talk a little bit about Niagara Cloud Suite. Niagara Cloud Suite is a scalable cloud-based solution that provides secure remote management services. I already explained this is an extension of our current offerings. It plays seamlessly hand in hand with our existing offerings, which is what I love about it. This is not an and or situation. You're able to leverage this, and it works seamlessly with Niagara. The other piece is that it has a management portal where you are provisioning all the services and doing all the user rights out of that management portal. and again, follows the mindset of open, extensible, so that you can use best-in-class applications that are available to yourselves and your customers. There are 3 services that we've already been talking about. The first one, data, is already in GA. I'll talk a little bit about that in the next slide. The second is Recover, which provides backups to your Niagara station. The roadmap for Recover includes remote updates, which is great because then you'll be able to actually push down updates to those stations. And the third service is Niagara Remote. Remote gives you the ability to securely tunnel into any Niagara station without the use of VPN. So really cool services. They're all built as microservices, so it's not all or nothing. You determine what you or your customer needs, and those are the things that you provision through that management portal. A little bit more on data. Right now, we're taking histories and model data from Niagara stations, putting them in the cloud, making those available through APIs for third-party applications, machine learning applications, business intelligence applications, applications that you guys have already written, whatever the case might be. It is provisioned from that portal, and then the historian has built-in query and dashboarding tool that enables quick data analysis and a visualization. The roadmap for data includes alarms, schedules, events, and of course, command channel, which will allow you to push down set point changes. So really exciting stuff about Niagara Cloud Suite as an extension to our existing framework. So with that, I know that was a lot, okay? I was asked to cover a variety of topics today, and I hope I did that justice. I have the product team that is here on the screen here. Please do pull them aside, ask them about the next 2 or 3 layers of details on any of the products that I've mentioned today. If you want to kick the tires on any of the beta products, please let us know. And of course, if you have feedback on any of the products, we are always open to feedback. With that, I believe I wrapped up on time. Thank you very much. You didn't think I could squeeze it all in.
You did great, Victor. Thank you for that update. That was awesome.
Excellent.
So what is the future of the Jace? I mean, I know we got the Jace 9, but I mean, with all these new IP architectures and, the reduction of gateways, are you actually seeing a change in your business?
I'll tell you my point of view, not vetted by anybody, so that's dangerous. The Jace and some of the things that we provide are a rabbit in the industry. And the second we stop providing that, the adoption of the latest and greatest falls behind. So in my opinion, we will always need a Jace because we will always need a platform that shows the industry the latest, greatest, and best of what Niagara has to offer.
Cool. Awesome. And of course, with the containerization of Niagara, does that mean you can put it on a thermostat?
Well, it depends if the thermostat can handle containerization, but I mean, if it can, then fantastic. I think containerization opens up quite a variety of use cases. And the big part is that obviously working with containers versus having to do full-on portability is a massive time saver for development, which means that if you have the compute capability on the device, it becomes a lot more feasible.
Yeah, for sure. Awesome. Thank you. Folks, questions from the audience? Anybody like to ask Victor some questions? Where's Glenn? Glenn?
Oh, jeez.
Glenn.
Hello.
we got you.
How far does your hardware roadmap go into the building?
How far does it go in terms of timeline?
Just how many products do you think you will end up with?
How many products do we think we'll end up with? Well, we have, from a hardware standpoint, we carry the Jace 9000. We have Edge 10, and we're carrying these Edge security. We obviously have peripherals. I'm not exactly sure if that's what you're leading to, but I think there's 2 options when it comes to hardware. One is we continue to build our own in order to show the examples of what can be done. There are other things that we probably won't build ourselves that we will partner in doing so that we could explain, hey, look, you can put Niagara, I mean, you used the thermostat example, but you can put Niagara in some of these other devices that we're not going to go out and build ourselves, that we would rather partner with. I don't know if that was touching on your, but pull me over and we'll talk if that wasn't quite hitting on your question.
Questions for Victor? Up front here.
Hi there.
Oh, maybe we got another one in the
Earlier,
back.
you alluded to the fact that your cloud-based services were going to be able to push updates down into the stations. Have you thought of developing a system for updating the JACEs from major versions like 4.11 to 4.12 to 4.13? Because quite frankly, we're having trouble keeping up.
Yeah, understood. So that mechanism of recover and remote, those cloud services will be, like I said, working hand in hand with our existing portfolio. And the idea is that that repository of next version updates is what we're thinking about. How do we go and push those next version updates down to a JACE, at least those which are connected? But yes, we are thinking about that and would love your input. I don't know where you are, so I'm kind of speaking into an empty room.
You're up.
Up here,
All right.
dead center.
Okay, well, that doesn't really, okay. Excellent. Feel free to touch base. I would love your input on that.
Thank you.
Yep.
Hi, Victor. I was just wondering if you guys have, you kind of touched on that about the API interface, but I'm interested to see if you actually have you know, a way for someone, a third-party application to actually write into the cloud, or is it just one way out of the cloud?
At the moment, it's one way in from Niagara stations and one way, and APIs out. I'd like to understand what the use case is from a control back standpoint. If you have an application that's leveraging those APIs and making, you know, let's say recommendations on changing some parameters in a Niagara station, we will have a commands channel that will bring you back down to the station as well. I'd love to understand your use case and figure out if that's going to meet it, or if you're thinking about, you know, putting more data into Niagara Cloud, if that's what you're thinking.
It's more of a you know, a third-party application trying to make modifications or set point changes to the BMS.
That would be available through our commands channel back. So yes, we would be allowing that.
So it is available today.
No, that's on the roadmap on for Niagara Data, which was the last slide that you saw.
Okay.
It's a roadmap item. I'm hoping to accelerate that as quickly as possible, but it is a roadmap item.
Do you have any idea of about the timeline?
I'm hoping for end of year to go in beta.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Yep.
Hoping.
Nah, you know, I got to keep the language soft, otherwise I get in trouble.
Right, right. Awesome. Any more questions? Great question. No? Okay, great. Well, thank you, Victor. Well done.
Thank you.